Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast, where we discuss your favorite marble sports. We bring you in-depth analysis of each event across many different marble sports competitions. Catch all the information and drama you want to hear about your favorite players, teams, events, and more right here on the MSW podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
And we have an exciting show for you today. We're not going to talk a lot about the Limers, of course, because they absolutely sucked in this past couple of events. But we're going to talk a lot about some statistics, because we're going to be having a cool guest on that's very into the statistics of the whole Marble League, which is going to be very exciting. And we're going to talk about the recent controversy in the collision event, where apparently the marbles decided on their own to roll in their own direction. So I don't know. That was a weird argument, because I was in the... Did you see the Reddit post on that, Mr. Woff?
I did, and it was quite interesting. Like, a lot of science talk going on, and like, it was crazy. Like, there were some people getting heated about it. Like, no, the physics work this way. No, they work that way. And it's just like...
just a bunch of nerds. Sorry. But yeah, it was getting pretty heated. And the thing that pissed me off the most, there was so many freaking memes on that, too. Like, there were really too many on that. There were like, I don't know, like 10? I don't know. It wasn't 10, but it was a lot. And it was annoying, because they were all the same, too. It's just annoying. I don't know. But it was a big controversy. And yes, too many memes. Cevicho interacting on a live chat a little bit, but yeah, it was a big controversy, and we're going to discuss what we think about that. Our guest today has actually some good insight into some of the science or whatever behind how that worked. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, then you should go watch Event 2 of the Marble Showdown, which came out, what is it, like a week ago? And towards the end of the episode, there was a situation where a couple of the ball bearings, which are like the officials, kind of were on the arena, and they like seemed to purposely roll away from the Hornets and not hit them off the stage. So that became a drama. That's the extent of our drama. So that's the intro, guys. I think it's best to just go to Johnny Marble and hear the news now.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I am Johnny Marble here, once again with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. These past couple of weeks brought to us the first two events of Marble Showdown. This is where 12 teams compete for 8 available spots in the 2020 Marble League qualifiers. This event features many veteran teams, 2 Hubbalino teams, the Minty Maniacs and the Bumblebees, along with 2 fan-made teams, the Hornets and the Turtle Sliders. Event 1, the Sand Rally, came with a surprisingly good performance from the Jawbreakers, who clinched first place. Rookie team, the Hornets, followed closely behind with a silver, and the veteran team of the Snowballs took bronze to round out the podium. Next came Collision, which, surprisingly, featured another great performance from the rookie team, Hornets. They clinched the silver medal again. The Rojo Rollers came through with the gold medal, and the Shining Swarm took the bronze. Team Primary just missed the podium, losing the third place match to the Shining Swarm. Collision also brought some controversy, as the final match, 2 ball bearings looked as if to purposely avoid hitting a Hornet marble of the arena. JMR ruled this fair play, but many debate back and forth as to the truth of the situation. Asking Johnny Marble, it's definitely shady. As for their overall standings, as of Event 2, Hornets hold first place with 30 points. The Rojo Rollers sit 5 points back in second, and the Jawbreakers creeping up on them in third with 24 points. The Snowballs with 18 points and Team Momo with 14 round out the top 5. The biggest surprise in the standings is the performance of the Limers, finishing dead last in Event 1 and 10th in Event 2. This results in a last place spot overall so far and only 2 points. Another no Oceanics? Maybe. Possibly. But we'll see. They have a lot of work to do if they want to even qualify at this point. To other news now, the Marvel Sports magazine, The Rollout, has released its first issue, and it is marvelous. Trust me, it's a read. This can be found on issu.com, official link in the Marvel-based Discord. The magazine features articles about many Marvel League teams and Q&As with the best Marvel minds out there. MSWP is a proud sponsor of the Rollout. Over on to MSPN now, Marble Mayhem is 3 events in. Woo boy! This exciting Alagdu Marble competition is now in Season 3 and features expert commentary and unique events. The first 3 being hurdles, tightrope, and shot put. As of Event 3, Limelight leads with 48 points and Thanos right behind with 45. Helios rounds up the top 3 with 37 points. We wait in excitement for Episode 4 of Marble Mayhem, as well as MSPN's first episode of The M Games. Dang, that's a lot of news this week. But that's all for me here in this studio. Let's take it back to Brendan. I've been Johnny Marble. Thanks for listening.
All right, everybody, and we're back from the news. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for another exciting news segment. A lot of news this week. Just a lot going on in the community. Not just the Marble Showdown by the Marble League, but we also got some MSPN. We got the new magazine out over there, so go check that out. The Rollout by what's his face, Mathies. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
I don't know, but I do know the link is issu.com/the rollout. That's issuu.com/the rollout.
That's issuu.com/the rollout, if my accent is better for your ears. All right. But anyway, we're going to get right into it today because we got a lot to talk about. We have a guest on today who some of you may know actually pretty well from the Marble Sports community, from the Reddit page. He posts often different graphs and pictures and comments on all the different events and things like that. Recently, he posted a very, very interesting graph on the different rivalries in the Marble League. Sorry, it's hard for me to say Marble League now. It goes right to Marble Olympics, and it's like actually Marble League. But yes, he posts a lot about that. He's known in the Reddit as JMR Throwaway, and he's known in real life as Tom. Why don't you say hello to everybody, Mr. Tom?
First of all, I don't think I post that often. But yes, hi. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, I feel like I've seen your name a bunch, though. Like, because you kind of... Well, I guess when you post, it's like a good post, so I guess I notice it.
Yeah, I maximize clout. I'm aiming for influence.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, much better than the people who repeat the same meme over and over, which is annoying. But, those things still get, 100,000 upvotes just because it's a meme. It's awful. It's annoying. It
People
really is
love
annoying
memes.
to me. Yeah, that's true. But, I feel like if you repeat it enough times, come on. Just do something new, all right? I don't know. Then again, I repeat the same ad every week with the same picture for the podcast, so.
It's true.
Anyway, let's get into this. Tom, why don't you tell us, how did you get into Marble Sports?
Okay, this is a great story, actually. I would say the first time... Well, let me say how I got into marbles in general. My first marble crush was on YouTube, and I still am a big fan of the Wintergarten Marble Machine, or the Marble Machine X, as it's known now. I loved it when I saw that video at first. It was 2 years ago, because it's all this physical machinery. It just completely blew me away. And so a friend who knew about my Marble Machine obsession messaged me one day saying, "Oh God, I got this in my recommends." And it was the 2019 Marble Olympics Marble League qualifiers video. And at first I was looking at that. I was a little skeptical. But then, I got to the part where there was the fan brawl between Limers and Primary, and at that point I was hooked. I was like, there was no going back. That's one thing. But the second thing that really got me into the community was a few days after I started like binging the videos, I started checking the sub, and I saw the first post by Tip Ritz, who's now the designer for Marble League. And I saw his crests, his logos, and I was like, oh my God, this fandom is filled with such talented, amazing people. I have to be part of it. And
yeah, dude, that guy did a great job. Yeah.
Yes, it is. No, I got a great story about that if we get to it. But I just was so impressed by the quality of the community that I decided to step up my own game. And now I spend too many hours like going at Marble Stats, Marblelytics. I copyrighted that phrase, so. Did
you? Oh, wow. But yeah, definitely interesting how you got into Marble Sports. A lot of people, similar thing with the YouTube recommendations.
Yeah, I mean, it was that one qualifiers that got mad viral. Like, 10,000 votes on Reddit or something?
Oh, really? Oh, was that you? Oh, no, that wasn't you, right?
No, I meant the qualifiers video.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the one, it has like 9 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Massive. Like, that thing is like...
It's sensation.
That's an insane amount of views. I don't know. That's like, I don't know how there's not many views on that, but yeah, I guess just the YouTube algorithm or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of people saw that, which is not wrong. But anyway, yes, that's good to hear how you got into Marble Sports, and I know that you make a lot of very good quality posts with a lot of stats and things like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you came to, first of all, become interested in the stats, of Marble Sports? Were you always interested in stats, or is it just this one? And like how you became actually be able to make those?
Okay, so I don't want to reveal so much personal information because the internet's a scary place, but my day job is...
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Woff's on here, so I mean, come
on. My day job is a PhD student in what I would say it's a quantitative discipline. So I have some experience like mixing around with data, looking at stats.
Wait, you're saying going for a PhD?
Yeah, I am.
Damn, good for you. Good for you. You know what?
I don't recommend it for most people, but I am such a weird person already. Marblelytics, that I have to. Only a university can handle my weirdness. So a lot of these skills, I should say this. I'm also inspired by, I don't know if you heard this person on YouTube, John Boyce.
No, I don't know who that is.
I don't think I've heard of
So
it.
John Boyce, his last name Bois. You can look him up. He is this guy that does very, very interesting sports stats videos. And
does he? I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, and I was really inspired by that as well because I saw his videos and saw how much of a narrative he can make it out of sports stats. I think that's probably how I got into Marble Stats, is because I wanted to do my John Boyce thing, but for marbles.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the Marble League is way more fun than regular sports, in my opinion. I mean, maybe less meaningful, but it's more fun. Yeah, that's true. And
I don't really understand baseball or soccer. Just 11 people running around. Sometimes they make a pass, sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they make a pass, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Someone write that down, Mr. Woff.
Sometimes they make a pass, sometimes they don't.
Yep, he's actually writing this stuff down. I've said it like
I don't know why you want me to write
randomly.
this one down. Like, the other ones I've made some amount of sense, but this one I'm very confused by.
Do what I say. All right, thank you. That's our co-host, everybody. But I agree. Like, and definitely the story of all the sports lies in the stats. Like, you can go back years for any sports, look at the stats, and that's where you can find the story. So that definitely is an awesome, it's an awesome thing to get into. A lot of people shy away from the stats because, dealing with all the numbers, understanding all the markings, things like that gets very difficult. But like having people like you that can do that can understand them, that can like explain them to other people that don't get them. Like that's awesome. So it's good to see that you're doing that, and that are you going to try to make some sort of YouTube content or video at some point?
No, I don't have a YouTube account.
Oh, really? You don't have a you gotta make one.
Maybe like link to my Gmail or something. I don't know, but yeah, I like graphs because I know the software to make the graphs, and so at this point, it's kind of second knowledge. Like the same tools I use for my research is what I use to make marble graphs. So it's kind of like second nature for me now. But I'm glad people enjoy it. I don't enjoy making complex graphs no one understands. I enjoy making things that are lots of data but is understood by people.
Yeah, like the rivalries graph you had posted recently. That was actually really cool because that, like, there's so many different stats you could have zeroed in on, but that one I think a lot of people actually understand, and like it was very clear the different colors, like the darker the color, the more rivalry they had, and it was good. It was good to kind of lay it out and see. Like I didn't know Orangers and Team Galactic had such a big rivalry. And they were like one of the darkest squares on the thing, so it's actually good to lay that out there.
I mean, I can talk a bit about that. I love that. That's like one data point I really enjoyed, because there's a reason why that is. It's because I like to think of every Marble Olympics as defined as by some kind of central rivalry, and I strongly believe 2017 it's the Orangers Galactic rivalry year.
Yeah, evidently the Team Galactic is like yet to top 5 in any Marble Olympics, right?
Yeah,
Marble League,
yeah.
or...
I mean, I think there are reasons for that too, but we'll get to that when we get there.
I was curious about like the rivalries graph. Like, how is that calculated exactly?
Okay, so what I did is, all right, there was this very painful month when I just scraped a lot of results. I freeze framed the YouTube videos frame by frame to check which marbles did which times, which marbles were in which finals, how they progressed in each event. But then after I got that, the pain is over. What I did is I just basically, for each event and each team member participating in it, I just recorded their event progression, saying that, okay, you were starry in 2017 Sand Rally. You were in Group B in the beginning, and then you went to the final. Or if you're in hurdles, you're in Group D, Semi-B, final. So I had all these data encoded, and then I just basically coded up a way to just sum it up and just checking for each person in each group or semi they were in, which other teams were in the same semi for that event.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So comparative, like within.
I mean, it takes a while to code, but then boom, I run it 2 seconds. The whole thing comes out. It's the power of modern technology.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, a lot of complicated stuff there, definitely, because coding goes over my head. I'll tell you that. And I'm actually good at math. Like, I know math, like, well. Don't mean to boast here. I'm good at, like, that kind of stuff, science, whatever. But, like, coding, dude, that's just, like, that's just for, like,
practice.
China,
like,
man.
I care very much about getting feedback, because if you look at my profile, I made some graphs before these more recent ones I made, which were, I would say, mostly unsuccessful. They got like 5 upvotes. Nobody cared.
It wasn't a meme.
But, yeah.
It's pretty much it, though, That's the problem. Like, all the freaking people, if it's not a meme, they'll just not upvote it, because everyone has to be, like, entertained or some shit. Like, I don't know. Just, like, take some time and read the post. Just take some time and read it. And then, if you understand it, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, it's retarded. But, anyway, I think, it's good to hear how you got into marble sports, and definitely it will apply a lot well to the later conversation about collision and stuff like that. And
I'm excited.
Yeah,
colliding intellects.
Absolutely, and we will definitely, hopefully, have some good insight on I want to hear a lot about the formations and the marbles and the collision, and maybe some about the ball bearing situation, but. Before we go on to that discussion, though, it's time for the trivia segment, everybody.
All right.
Who's ready for that?
I certainly am.
Can you sound any less excited, Mr. Waff?
I'm really excited.
Jeez, someone cut him out. Anyway, no, you're doing great. Why don't you start us off, actually, Waff? Tell us your trivia question for this week.
So, I have a new idea for a tradition. It's like, so... Whenever a new tournament happens, the seating arrangement for the marbles is changed. So for every single new tournament, I'm going to ask you this same question. Where is my marble currently in the stands? For those of you who don't know, like the banner for above.
What?
Okay.
I don't even know what your marble looks like.
Could you make any? Could you come up with
trick
any
question.
more?
Wait, hold on.
Trivia question.
To help our audience figure this out, the banner above the SoundCloud on the SoundCloud profile, as well as the background for the newest episodes on YouTube, like the rightmost marble with the mint green, the white sliver through the middle, and then the brown on the bottom. That's my marble. You will see he is very prominent in the very first few seconds of episode 1.
So you're asking me to keep track of where your marble is in the stands?
Yes.
No.
Like which section?
I don't actually, dude. I have to be quite honest. I somehow S-Man, is that
I
right?
could take
Upper
a
deck
guess.
towards the left. I'll
Yeah, I was
go
gonna
lower
say
deck
upper
towards the
far
right.
left.
Oh, really? Yeah, because that was where we were before, I think.
Wait, what section?
I mean, I'm just gonna go with S-Man here. Upper deck towards the left.
Yeah,
Well-
as left as possible.
Well, that's like that's very vague. Like upper deck to the left. That's where I think all of the patron marbles are at.
Really? Well,
I don't know. It's like close to the edge or something.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing some vital information here. I don't know what the seating arrangements.
I gotta be honest. You're just unprepared, man. I mean, that's a vain freaking question. To
I
think that I am
wanted
following your
to
marble.
start a brand new little tradition where at the beginning of each season, if you can find my marble in the stands, it's like, hey, look, there's our co-host watching the show from the sidelines. I thought it'd be interesting. So
How cool
Yeah,
is you?
but like we're giving you answers and you keep vetoing.
Well,
You're supposed
you're
to be
saying
like, if we're getting warmer, you say warmer.
upper section in the left. You're getting warmer, yes. Like upper section to the left, yes.
Okay, I think you should just give us exact
Okay.
location. I'll at least check
All
it
right,
every
so
time.
my marble is currently in section B5 on the top section. He's in the second row on to the left of that second block.
He's in section B5, the top left section, wind speed 40 miles an hour, blah, blah, blah. Okay,
below
great.
below the topmost SeaGeek sign for that
And-
little section.
I'm
really?
curious. Is there actually a seating chart for the
Yes.
stadium? Oh, yeah. You should drop the link somewhere.
At 16 seconds in event 1 of the Sand Rally, you'll see him in those in B5, second to the left, right below the first SeaGeek sign.
All right, guys. Listen, I'm not going to tell you to go do that. All right, I'm just going to be real here.
Well, I am.
Maybe we'll come up with a better question next time, right? Are we going to come up with a better question next time, Mr.
It's going to
Waff?
be a different question. I'm saying only at the beginning of each tournament. So I can't do the question because the seating team will be the same every time.
So we have to do this whole stuff again at
Next
the
year.
qualifiers?
Yeah, next year.
Jesus. All right, well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that question. That no one would have known that. Let's just be
No,
honest.
no one would.
No one would
I'm
have
letting you
known
know. I'm
that.
doing it now. That way you know to do it next time.
All right. Well, if Mr. Waff has a lot of value to you guys, I guess keep an eye on his seating and his marble. Maybe I'll actually do that. Maybe I'll remember. But I usually have trouble telling all the marbles apart anyway.
And if you get a marble
anyway.
at one point, then you can do the same thing. Like where are you at currently in the stands?
True, but my marble is going to be impossible to get because what I actually want, and I looked online, there's none even close to it. I want a black marble, but it's opaque enough that you see a golden cat's eye in the middle. That's what I want.
Yeah, you're only.
But
gonna
that's impossible. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that. Or even you know what they could do to kind of cheat it? They could have a black marble, but then a clear stripe where you could see the gold cat's eye, kind of. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Some engineer would have figured out.
What is this? Is this the Eye of Sauron marble or something?
I don't know. Black and gold. That's the color of the podcast.
Okay.
I guess a marble with black and gold stripes. If you really want the marble that's in the banner, you just have to get a clear golden cat's eye marble. That's the best you could really hope for.
Well, I'm just gonna hope that you come through for Christmas, Mr. Waff, because I'm coming.
I'm not
I'll
a
come down to
glass
Texas
maker.
for Christmas with you. Yeah, but you have money and you can buy it from someone else.
Excuse me, I can't even find that dang marble. Thank you very much. It's impossible to make it the way you want it to look.
Oh, you have to go to one of your redneck friends down there in Texas. Be like, make me a marble that has gold and black in it. Moving on. Next question, everybody. I'm glad the live chat is still bumping here, even through all this insanity. But anyway, I'll go to my question because it's a little bit. It's a little less vain. It actually talks about someone besides myself. Sorry, that's like the only sorry you're gonna get. Oh, we love WAF. Anyway, my question is, of all the teams in the Marble League, and this is only true of one, what team has been there since the beginning, and actually was in the first Marble League, but since the first Marble League has failed to qualify 3 times in a row? The only one team that's done that.
Even 2016?
There's only one? I thought... Wait.
Because 2016 didn't have qualifiers.
Right, but like they were in 2016. But like after that, there's been 3 years and they failed to qualify for those 3 years. The only team actually...
Were 2, Rojo Rollers and Cobalts.
No, I don't think so. The Cobalts as well. Sorry, yep. Actually, he's right. I can't believe you knew that. That's the weird part. You knew that.
What?
Like, you were sure about that, too.
Yeah, the answer's out now. So Rojo Rollers and Cobalts.
Yeah, Mr. Waff, you don't get to guess anymore. Thank you.
I wasn't
Mr. Waff
guessing.
doesn't get to
I
guess.
knew it.
I'm sorry.
No,
Did
but
I ruin the party?
that legitimately impressed me. Okay, first, not only did you like tell me I was wrong because I guess I didn't look hard enough, but like you actually knew that so confidently off the top of your head. That is actually insane.
See?
Dude, he deserves a PhD.
See, now both you and me have messed up a trivia question.
You know what I thought you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna say something obscure, like what was the dancing formation of Savage Speeders in the opening ceremony of 2018 Marble Olympics?
How would I know that? Is
I
that
feel
your
like there are those
question?
things
Is that
that,
your question?
Shout out to you. No, it's not. It's not.
Dude, listen. We're not that smart here on the podcast. I'm not even in college yet.
Okay.
And Mr. Waff, I mean, I don't know how he's in college. I mean...
Oh, okay. Wow.
I've been beating up on him pretty bad, but no. In all seriousness, no. That's actually that's pretty crazy that you actually knew that seriously, confidently off the top of your head. That's.
I can say my question now, I suppose.
All right, go ahead. Mine was all right.
So we were talking a bit earlier about the rivalries graph I made. Just to be a bit more detailed, the way I measured rivalries in that graph is I took any encounters between teams in the semifinals, finals, second stage of knockout tournaments onwards, basically excluding the group stages when they were randomly assigned with each other. I think Brendan here already mentioned that Galactic or Rangers has the highest number of these showdowns between each other compared to every other team pairing. But there is one team that has had one of these showdowns with every one of the 24 other teams in my graphic. There's only one team. So I want to see if you know which one
one team
it is.
that what? Can you say that again?
One team that has had one of these meaningful showdowns with all the other 24 teams. That's not that team in the graphic.
Really? Oh, you mean one team that's had
an encounter with everybody?
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't have a
Thank you.
0?
Right, exactly.
Oh. I mean, that's a good one. If I had to guess, I would probably... No, I wouldn't say Speeders. Might be Speeders, but I wouldn't say Speeders. You said it wasn't a Rangers already, I think.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you know what? I would go Mellow Yellow. That is a solid. You got to at least admit that's a solid guess because Mellow Yellow's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go Mellow Yellow on that.
You want to try as well?
Yeah, I want to try as well. I'm trying to remember the ones who have all the encounters would be the ones at the very ends of the graph because so I'm trying to figure out who was at the very ends. I'm trying to remember. Mellow Yellow is the one that comes to mind right now, but I'm not sure about that. I want to say.
I need a final answer. You gotta lock it in.
I'll go with Mellow Yellow. Yeah.
Okay, the correct answer is Mellow Yellow.
All right.
No way!
Yeah,
I am a prophet.
There's a story behind this. I was really surprised because Mellow Yellow, unlike some of the other senior teams, don't have a huge rivalry in terms of showdowns. They've encountered most often with Speeders and Rangers, but that's maybe 6 encounters, which is not the tippy top. But then I noticed they did indeed have an encounter with every single team. Speeders have not with Crazy Cat's Eyes, Shining Swarm, and Rojo Rollers. Or Rangers have not with Minty Maniacs. That's the one that they're missing. So you better hope for Minty Maniacs to make it to.
Oh goddamn the Mini Maniacs! I hope they don't make it because I actually a couple episodes ago I sat here and I said that the Mini Maniacs, actually both Ugolino teams, Mini Maniacs and Bumblebees, both had like no chance of making it at all because they're just so unskilled compared to the actual Marble League teams. And I mean, it's kind of working out because they both did pretty bad in Collision. They both didn't make it to the second round. But like, yeah, I mean, they're just not. They just don't deserve to be in the Marble League, in my opinion. They don't have the skills for it. But I mean, I don't know. I guess if it works out, but I hope they don't. Kind of.
I can say the same thing about the Limers.
You don't like the Limers?
Full disclosure, I'm a Raspberry Racers fan.
Oh, okay. But they don't really have a rivalry. That's like a rivalry in kind of shit. That's a hard word to say. That's a rivalry in like name only because like looking at your graph, I'm pulling up your graph. They don't have a dark spot.
The graph isn't supposed to indicate every meaningful rivalry. Racers Limers do have some good matches. I think 2018 Speed Skating or Team Pursuit, one of those two. That was your classic matchup between like Razzie and Sublime.
All right.
So there has been some classics in there, but now the Limers are trash, and we all know it. So we got, that's just a little notch on the Racers' storied history as they roll into greatness.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna throw this picture. Actually, I can't. Actually, I might be able to. I'm gonna throw this picture into the Discord so you guys can look at the rivalry graph here if you don't already have it. But one of the darkest spots on the graph is the Jungle Jumpers versus Raspberry Racers, which I thought was interesting because like you never put those together. I never put those together in my head when I think rivalries. So
right.
God,
I think it's great, right? Jungle Jumpers is a weird team. In my opinion, they are extremely inconsistent. They either like place last or like 15th, or they get gold and silver. And
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I saw that in the recent Marble Olympics.
They got a real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing going on. And I like to imagine that with the Racers and the Jumpers, that they feed off of each other's energy. So that's when both of them step up.
Oh, really?
Because you can see one of those 9 is Racer Jumpers was also Elimination Race Finals, which I think is the triumph of the Racers in 2019. When, there's like this nice, swift finish from Razzie to, Rezi to kick off the Green Ducks into the dust and slide her way to gold.
It's funny, though.
That.
It's funny, though, because for me, like, I actually saw some sort of a rivalry between the Green Ducks and the Raspberry Racers. I'm looking at the picture here. Wait. I don't know if you can hear me, but... Jeez. Oh, they do have quite a bit of a dark spot. Sorry, I don't know if I cut out for a second, but they do have quite a bit of a dark spot. The Raspberry Racers and the Green Ducks. So that was
I didn't realize that. The rivalry of 2019, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that was big. This is probably one of the most exciting Marble Leagues we've had in a while because we had the Raspberries and Green Ducks were back and forth like the whole time. It was actually quite an exciting situation.
Yeah, it was.
I think it's actually a study in contrast. In my opinion, the Racers I think they're the fastest team in the Marble League period. Like, they're not close. Razzie, he's the Usain Bolt of Marble League.
Oh, dude, I don't agree with that.
No, there's a chart. There's a chart for the speeds, and Razzie is the fastest marble.
Yeah, where did you get what data did you use to say that? Because
Reddit.
I mean, I feel like
there's another chart that shows the speeds.
There's another chart, but I could make a chart right now. I mean, like what? I don't know how you would decide that. I mean, I feel like
did you fact check his charts? Because I mean, like if you had to fact check every single chart, then like you'd be here forever.
I mean, what I did is, and I'll probably release this tomorrow or maybe Saturday. Is that I took all the times that I recorded for the marbles.
Right.
And I basically averaged them out over the events to create what I call the speed index, the Marble League speed index. Number 1.
Sounds fancy.
In that index. Yeah. And guess what? Razzie is number 1. It's not even close.
All right. Well, what events did you use though? That's the point.
I used a bunch. That's the point. Razzie is consistent.
But what events?
He got gold in elimination. what do you mean? Okay, elimination, underwater race, rally. We got 2018 stuff in there too. I think Razzie was in speed skating. I think.
Wait, but like you took like. Okay, but like, what about the teams that were there before Razzie? Did you use the times from those years as well?
Yeah, I did. Like,
you can't do that. You can't do that. So if I'm taking teams and I'm comparing some of them, like let's say I'm comparing the Orangers speed index to the Raspberry Racer speed index, I can't take all the times from the 4 years of the Rangers competing against the two years of the Raspberry Racers, because then you're creating it's kind of like you're using years that the Raspberry Racers weren't even in contention. So it's like It creates a different situation, as opposed to like if you wanted to compare to the Raspberry Racers, you'd have to just take from the years that the Raspberry Racers competed when you talk about other teams. So you'd have to just take the last 2 years. Okay, I think the Raspberry Racers came in 2018, right?
Right. But I mean, look, if we're gonna have this conversation, if anything, there was less intense competition going on the earlier years. So if anything, the index is biased in the favor of earlier teams when they didn't have to face stiff competition.
Really,
Razzie, facing speeders, wisps, green ducks, hazers, all of these champs, and still clinching 2 silvers, 1 bronze. The consistency is frightening.
I guess so. I'm gonna.
No. You don't have
the PhD guy.
You don't have to surrender. It's a good point. I realize that. But
yeah. I just don't have enough facts to really back what I'm saying. So I'm kind of like scrambling a little bit. But like, I don't know.
No, it makes sense. No. I just look. I don't think Razzie is the fastest marble is a marketing ploy. I mean, that doesn't really exist. A really funny thing is, if I really think about who's the fastest marble, another contender is Smoggy from the Hazers.
No, yeah, definitely.
But that's a great story because if you want, you can go back to 2019 rally, 2019 sprint, 5-meter sprint. I think Smoggy was by far the fastest marble in contention, but so fast that in the final he lost control. He stumbled out the gate. He kind of just couldn't get a handle on himself, and by the time he regained his footing and went forward, it was too late. But even then, he almost overtook Yellow at the end, and he still got a silver.
Which race was this?
This is 2019 5-meter sprint.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at the finals of that, this is what I'm describing.
Oh, okay, I can't. I'm well, if you can search that up now, right?
I remember it happening too. Like I remember, I was seeing the hazers, like they were bouncing around a whole lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you call like losing their footing when they're hitting the walls a lot.
Right. Sorry, I was being a bit too evocative there.
What a word. Yeah, I get you though. Yeah, and that's one of the things you have to consider. That like if you really want to take the raw speed and talk about the fastest marble from the raw speed, none of the events really help because a lot of them have curves and walls and everything. So, I mean, your chart's great because it's good to know in the context of the Marble League and the events of the Marble League. These are the marbles that usually move the fastest. That's a good thing to know. But if you're like, okay, I want to know what's the fastest marble of all the Marble League competitors. You need to take away all abilities, all wall hitting, all curves in the track, that kind of stuff, because that stuff requires agility and a different skills. If you saw, I don't know if any of you guys saw the Reddit posts by the other guy who did the spider webs, who had like the all the different skills. Like when you balance those out, you have a lot of different skills that go into the races, especially the sand rally. There's a lot of agility, intelligence, things like that. And
I mean, intelligence is kind of stretching it.
That was funny. That was funny though. Like he put that in there. But like, I'd love to ask him. I'm gonna try to have him on because we've been in contact a little bit. I'm gonna try to ask him. Okay, how did you measure that? Anyway, though we should move on to the controversy of the collision event. But Mr. Waff, do you have any more final questions for Tom here before we move on? Tom?
I guess like for the whole like fastest marble thing, like did you compare like completion times for events like sprints and stuff like that, or it's like a definitive like record times to go by?
It's a little this is where things get messy. So whenever possible, I used JMR official times, but like for relay, I went through this terrible experience where I had to go frame by frame to see when the passage of the marbles happened, and I recorded those, by hand in my spreadsheet. I think I'm the first person to ever go through the pain of doing that. And furthermore, there was some guesswork involved because we don't actually know the exact order in which people, like the baton passers, go through.
I thought they're listed, like, before the event, like, they listed, like, the baton pass order.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think, I thought because what I did was I basically looked at Crazy Cat's Eyes whenever possible. The Crazy Cat's Eyes, you can distinguish them.
Right.
They're distinguishable. So I basically realized that the baton pass order Crazy Cat's Eyes was the same order they were presented in the opening ceremony. So I assumed that Yella is consistent enough to do that for every team. That's how I encoded the stats. But maybe I completely screwed this up, and you're right. So I have to go check up on that.
I guess I can fact check you. And I guess we move on to the next topic.
Fact checking. Wow, this is like a debate.
Kind of is.
Do you usually have such intense debates with your guests?
I can't remember.
I mean, you got the PhD, man. I mean, we're just picking your brain here.
I don't have a PhD. Okay, I could drop out.
You're gonna get it. Hope you don't drop out because all that work. That's true. Go work for a JMR. I mean, they earn a lot. I mean, they got the advertising now. They earn a lot.
It's hard for a living. It's hard to live off of that for a living.
No, they earn enough, don't they? Like, don't they earn like hundreds of $1,000s a year? I feel like they do. They do because they have.
I would highly doubt that, but that's a great question.
No. I don't highly doubt that though, because think about it. Their channel has a lot of subscribers. They get their videos on average, especially the Marble League videos. Come to about 300,000 views on average, which is not bad. Then you got advertising where they implemented now, so that's money. You got they made a deal with that toy company, so that's money. You have the merchandise, that's money. You have the Patreon, that's money. I mean, they're earning money in a lot of ways, and like
but it's like a little bit above. I mean, look, I don't know their balance sheets, but I know that I think like Dion, for example, hasn't quit his day job, so I don't think they're earning that much.
True. Well, then again, you are splitting it amongst two people, or maybe more.
Yeah.
So I just checked.
Melikus should probably get a cut too. He works so hard.
Yeah, he does work pretty hard.
All right, so anyway, I just checked the events. Like, they used to list the order of the athletes in the relay race, but they didn't do it for 2019.
You know what happened? You're right. They did do it for 2017, and I used that. But they didn't do it for 2018. But then Crazy Cat's Eyes was involved, so I just follow my technique from there onwards.
Yeah, and there's not really much you can do about that. Like, since they didn't do it themselves.
Yeah, no, I do feel like Yellow probably has a consistent scheme. He just forgets to put it.
I imagine so.
I think it would. Yeah, but whatever. You're going to talk collision. I can talk about collision.
All right. Anyway, we should move on to the controversy. So, for anyone who doesn't know by now, the controversy here in the second event was they're in the finals deciding the gold and the silver medal for the collision event. We had the Rojo Rollers, the great Rojo, by the way, who have surprised me quite a bit because they've been performing well, especially the collision event. They performed quite well, and they were consistent too. They kept 3 on the board pretty much every event except for like one. I think they kept 4, but they surprised me. But yeah, Rojo Rollers, they were versing the Hornets. They did the collision thing, and then towards the end of that, the ball bearings, they knocked into each other in a way where they were rolling towards the Hornet, like 2 of them together, and then it seemed like almost supernaturally they curved away like a full 90 degrees. So then people evidently flipped out, said it was corruption in JMR. Which is funny because the one guy who posted on that, he posted, corruption in JMR. He actually said corruption in JMC, so he didn't even get any acronyms right. He was. Yeah. I commented that in his post. I was like, dude, are you retarded? No. But so there was a lot of memes, a lot of discussion, and a lot of people trying to flex how smart they are with physics. So
I mean, I gotta be honest. I didn't even realize that when I first saw the video because I was like so furiously trying to count how many of the rollers and Hornets marbles were left.
Really?
I didn't even notice the bearing. But yeah.
Sorry, I was drinking water. But
I mean, no, I'm not trying to brag about this. I just
No.
I only realized the controversy until like I went to the subreddit and people were posting about it.
Yeah, I didn't really give it a lot of thought. Like that's the thing, because like I'm really big in this community, as you guys have figured out by now. I mean, look at what we got here. I'm hosting a thing, and like everyone's chatting and whatever. But I mean, even I sat down. I was watching the event. To me, they just made too big of a deal out of it. All right, I know people like to discuss like it's corruption or whatever, but it's just so obviously just the way they roll. I mean, like, I can't explain exactly what happened, but like, I just think it was blown too much out of proportion. Yeah, it's just physics. Thank you to our live chatter, BFB Icy.
I guess I'm alone in this, but like the moment I saw it, like I knew it was just a physics thing, but like the moment I saw it, like the way they're focusing on it and they did a replay of the whole thing, like I could tell right away this was going to be like a big drama thing in the Reddit.
Yeah, I guess that's
people
true.
People are just thirsty for drama.
Well, it's all about the role play, like to add more
Write that
more story
down,
to
Mr.
it.
Waff.
Yeah. So after I had some time, I actually did read one of those physics threads. And here, like, if you're dumb like me, I dropped out of college physics because it took too
PhD
much
thinks
time.
he's dumb.
Okay. But like, I saw this guy that's trying to make the argument, and then at the end of this long passage of text, he just says, "Imagine a cone." Done. And honestly, that's one of the easiest ways for me to think about it. Like, those two ball bearings were together in a way that seemed like a cone. You roll a cone, and it's gonna roll around a circle eventually, right? So
okay, let me pipe in there on that real quick. And sorry to the people who aren't huge physics people, but this is what we're doing right now. I don't like the cone explanation. Okay.
Oh.
I know. It seems like a simple one, and he thought he was so smug in saying that too. He was like, "Yeah, I got it." But like, I actually don't like the cone explanation because a cone. If you take a cone, the cone is one object. All right, so it's just one object, and it happens that the one end of it is pointy and small, and the other end is big. So if you roll it, it's going to go in a circle. As opposed to this situation where you have two objects. Okay, so you're already not a cone, and it doesn't really explain it because you have two objects. You have like and while they're not like magnetic, people were talking about like magnetic fields or something, but they weren't completely magnetic, so they were somewhat independent of each other. And also to the fact that a cone, if you roll a cone, the whole like surface of the cone, not the whole surface, but the whole like edge of the cone is touching the ground. All right, with a marble, you only have the tip of each ball touching the ground, right? Does that make sense? So you're not, a cone is the whole space you couldn't put anything between there. As opposed to like, visualize two marbles, there's like space between the two marbles themselves, even if they're touching each other at the top. And then there's no point. I mean, so like when you talk about a cone, you're kind of like, you're trying to like overcorrect maybe a picture of it. When it's like, to me, I think it had something to do with not really the fact that the marbles were rolling together, but the fact that the big marble was, for some reason, rolling its own path, and it just happened to be that the little marble was next to it, so it just followed whatever it rolled, if that makes any sense.
The way I understand it, it's like, so if you, in the footage, like, the small marble came running into the big marble, and the ball bearing, was standing still, and so it was influenced. So it touched it right on the edge. Like, it was basically essentially dragging the bigger the ball bearing with it. And as the bigger ball bearing got more momentum, it started trying to pull ahead. And as a result, it started directing the smaller ball bearing. And because they were so connected, they're trying to pull each other. The bigger one had more influence, and so because they're trying to pull on each other, they started to turn. And like, and I guess if you want to put another like small bit of physics, like, they were really tiny, but everything that has mass has a small gravitational pull, regardless of how big it is. So you could say that maybe to a certain extent, like, despite being so small, that they managed to influence each other enough to that that also led to them turning a little bit.
Right, but I don't think the force. You're talking about the gravitational force. I don't think you're going to see that much of an effect on it over that period of time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not going to work that way because they're just so small objects. And like I think you have a better chance trying to spell it off talking about the fact that the marbles, they were completely metal or completely, I don't know what they're made of.
They're metal.
They weren't glass. Yeah, those ones are metal. And steel. There you go. And because they're steel, they kind of interact with each other slightly magnetic, even though they're not actually magnets. So if you put them close enough together, if they rub in the right way, then you're gonna start to get a little bit of interaction between the two.
So let me at least explain. I went through my college physics textbooks, Wikipedia articles. At least something that makes sense to me about why the two marbles started turning near the end. One of the things, and you have to know like high school physics to know this, but friction, like if you roll something downhill, friction might slow down the process. But what's called the frictional force is proportional to, let's say in this case, the weight of
proportional.
the
That's a big word.
But here's the thing. It's the same surface, right? So that means the big marble is having a frictional force proportional to its weight pushed against it. So that's and then smaller marble as well. But the proportion is the same because they're on the same surface. The point is that there was more frictional force being applied to the large marble than the small marble. And then that creates an imbalance where now there's less force impeding the small marble. So the whole system of the two marbles goes to where the small marble is going.
That makes sense to me.
I don't think you understood a word of that, Mr. Roth.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Look. I'm just paraphrasing the comments in that Reddit thread. You should post the link to that Reddit thread.
Mr. Woff, can you do that? Yeah, we have the links from episodes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord. I'll put it in like the Discord, and then
we have a channel for it.
Yeah, we'll put it in the YouTube description.
It's like when I said the proportion. It's kind of like, okay, so if there was like I don't know, 50 whatevers of frictional force being pushed against the big marble. And the small marble is like a fifth of the weight. That means there's only 10 somethings of force against the small marble. So now there's more force impeding in the area of the large one than the small one.
I don't agree with this. And sorry,
okay.
I hate to cut in, but here's why. Because when you watch the video, you don't see if this was the case and you're talking about things, how it goes towards the smaller marble because of the magnitude of the force, and see I use magnitude there. You see that? That's pretty cool. Magnitude.
That's great. No,
I'm on my way to a PhD.
Big words.
Oh, I love it.
I love using big words because it hides my lack of knowledge in something. If I really knew something, I could explain it in very simple sentences and everybody would understand it.
True. Yeah, that's true. I get you. But anyway, back to my point. Because you're saying, okay, you're also similarly explaining it like you would a cone. In some way, you kind of are. And in that case, what you were supposed to have seen, what you should have seen in the video was the marbles kind of take a circular path. And I know it seems like they do.
But they did take a circular
No, they don't.
path.
They don't. And that's why, please, guys, go watch the clip. They actually, pretty clearly, they take a curve, but then it's pretty clear that they straighten out. It's pretty clear that they straighten out for like a good second before they fall off the stage. And I think that's like where, when you talk about the cone theory, we're throwing out theories now, all that kind of stuff, you can't say that because you have that point where you straighten it. I should post collision, the link to the video and like the timestamp of this whole thing, Mr. Wolf. Because like they straighten out. So I mean, you could probably argue that there is something to do with the friction, the reason it curved like that. But like, you would, if you was really curving because of that force lack on the small marble or whatever, then you're going to start to see a circle, and it did straighten out for
what it did was
it
straightened. It was kind of like an ellipse, wasn't it? It was like it straightened out, and then it kind of curved away from Hornets at the end.
Right, but see, it was going towards Hornets. It curved 90 degrees away, and then it did straighten out, and then they fell off the stage. So
yeah,
it's like,
I mean, I'm reviewing the footage. I think you're right-ish. But like, as soon as when you say they straighten out is when they hit the wall.
No.
Fall out.
I feel like they straightened up before then. Here, actually, thank you, Waff, for throwing the video up in here.
This is great. We're having debates. We're like reviewing like these tapes, like it's a conspiracy afoot.
Oh, here, evidently, I'm right here. See, like I'm watching the clip now. All right, and oh god, it's a little bit off. Wait, we'll wait. I'm not gonna click it. We're just gonna wait till it comes up for me. So we're just gonna wait in silence. Here we go. They're rolling. They're colliding. People stop chatting so I can watch the video without the screen moving. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I'm watching it here right now. I'm watching it. Ready? Okay, it's going straight towards, actually not even towards the Hornets, towards the yellow thing. It curves, evidently.
Yep.
And then to me, it looks like it straightens out.
To me, it seems like it hit the wall and then the large marble just kind of keeled over.
True, but like I feel like what it looked like is that the large marble was kind of getting in front of the small marble. God, this is tough on the tongue. Small marble, and it was kind of like, see, if you watch the video.
I see. You're saying that they're starting to like unbundle. They're starting to.
They were starting to
apart.
unbundle, and they were. It definitely looks like to me that like in a couple split seconds before it hit the barrier, you saw it straightening out. And so when you talk about that. That straightening out, like I think that's where, to me, you can't just say, "Oh, it's a cone." You know what I'm saying? Because it's not.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, like, there's a guy that in the Reddit thread that said the exact same thing. But I guess, like, why were they even being held together? I mean, that's another thing. I think that's what's called kinetic friction.
Completely baffles me how they were together like that. Like, it literally looks kind of supernatural.
Yeah. I think what's weird about it, it's like if you have to explain the whole thing, you have to like start. Okay, first of all. There was force and energy being transferred to one end towards a larger marble, and then to the smaller marble, and to the larger marble again. And it's like, that's what's so weird about this whole thing, is that like even try to explain it physically with mechanics, it seems like there's so much action and reaction back and forth that's hard to think of like one theory that can explain all of this.
That's true. And true.
But there should be. There should be. There are PhDs, like, there are PhDs out there.
Like, me.
Like, ultimately, the way I think about it is, like, ultimately, it's definitely something that to do with physics. And so I took myself out of the role play for that moment, like, and just said, like, okay, that's just how it works. Because, like, it didn't happen, like, for the rest of the event. So, like, it's not like they actually, like, they put in special ball bearings to mess with that event or something like that. Like, it really was just a physics thing. So even though I don't understand fully how it happened, I don't actually think it mattered. Both because I know it wasn't.
I mean, it didn't.
It didn't matter
because Hornets were 3-4 anyways.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that like annoys me about the community. How they did freak out about this, like talking about corruption. I don't know what they're talking about, but like it is a good debate to try to figure out what was going on there. Because I don't know. I'm one to always. I love to question. I love to think. I love to figure things out that I don't understand. That's just one of my. I just like to do that, and I get that. But like when you, I mean, come on. Let's consider the context of the situation. The Hornets were already lost at that point. So whether they hit the Hornet or not wouldn't have even made a difference. And like when they talk about, oh well, the ball bearings were corrupt and didn't want to hit the Hornets. I mean, think about how like that. To me, that doesn't sound sensible at all. Because think back. The ball bearings have been a part of the Marble League for 4 years now. 4 years. They have started the gates, started the starting gates, whatever. They've done whatever it is. I don't know what they do, but they do it. They do it well, and they've been part for 4 years. And by the way, the 4 events that they were part of before Marble Showdown were a hell of a lot more important than Marble Showdown, because those are actually the real Marble League, Marble Olympics, whatever. And to think that they wouldn't do anything in especially like take this recent Marble Olympics. We had like high tension and a close race between the Green Ducks and the Raspberry Racers to some degree, but yet you saw no interferences at all in their situation, and no interferences in general. And then you take some of the Marble Olympics a while ago, just you didn't hear any of that. I mean, and then so they decide to. Like, why would they decide to in a very unimportant tournament? I mean, compared to the Marble League, it's pretty unimportant. The Showdown, not really, lower teams. Why would they decide to then start playing favorites? That doesn't make any sense, right? So you have to consider the context because people just get crazy out there on the Reddit. Over there on the Reddit. I'm sorry.
Are you familiar with a concept that's called kayfabe?
No.
Kayfabe is, I think, what pro wrestling fans, like the stage kind of wrestling, they call this idea of, giving staged events reality. And I think part of us deep down would like to think that, there's this drama that's all staged, or it's like there's conspiracies going on. Because I think it makes it all a little more interesting, makes it a bit more intense. Because like you said, you try to understand the physical implications of it, and it's kind of hard. It's not rewarding. You don't understand it, and it's easier to have just a theory that you at least believe in, because I don't know, it makes you feel better.
I don't know what it is. That's what, people believe in the stupidest stuff too, because they feel like they, in just coming out of the marble thing. You talk about the real world, people believing in the whole conspiracy theories or whatever it is. People just, it's so retarded. But people
it's like all the doping jokes.
Right, but all these dumb people think oh, I feel better, I feel more powerful or more important because I'm believing something crazy that no one else believes. I guess it's that. I think that's what happens. People oh, well, yeah, I do. I can't even think of any conspiracy theories that are weird, but I do think this is real, and no one else does. So if it's real, then I'm pretty freaking cool. But see, it's retarded, And it's I don't want to insult any conspiracy theorists out there. So if you are one and you listen to this, I love you. But it is I get that. People like to indulge that, but I think it's when you talk about the science of it, it's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
You should have Bill Nye on here next to talk about the marbles.
Oh Jesus.
You probably could
anyway, guys. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I said Bill Nye would probably be able to answer this question pretty simply.
Oh no, I don't think so. He's not a physicist, right? He's he's a biologist, right?
No, I thought he was just a general smart dude.
It's a general smart dude.
The official title. The official title. General smart dude.
No, I'd get Vsauce on here. I would get Vsauce before Bill Nye. Vsauce would slap Bill Nye across the world. I don't know. But anyway, guys, we are actually almost at an hour of Marble Talk today, but we should end here with some predictions for the upcoming rest of the Marble League. We have Marble Showdown. We have a couple of events left. We have Funnel Spin next this Friday, I think. So that's tomorrow.
Yep.
So you guys are going to get this. Episode's going to be out. You're going to hear all this physics after the Funnel Spin's already out. So I guess you can hear if our predictions are right or whatever. And then after that, we have the 5-meter sprint, which I don't think is a good event. They shouldn't have put that at the end, but they did anyway. But yeah, we should go around here. Let's throw some predictions out. Let's hear from you, Waff. I want to hear from you. What are your predictions here?
Well, I think the Hornets are going to probably actually end up winning the qualifiers, but even if they don't, they definitely. I think the Hornets and Team Momo are my two who I predict would definitely be in the top. As well as let's see here. Once I think it'd be actually easier to predict who won't make it because it's fewer teams to think about. Limers definitely won't because they have been very bad so far.
Limers are trash.
Limers are trash. Yes,
he stands by that. I mean, honestly, I'm putting a little bit of hope in the Limers. I really hope they pull it out. I can't believe they've been so bad. They've been so bad. They got, what is it, last place and then 10th place? Unbelievable. But if
I can say something on that, it's bad coaching. I don't know why they put Guleim in the sand rally. He is consistently the slowest marble.
Really?
Cannot get anything right. And then Limers have a problem where Sublime is so much faster than everyone else. I think that's why in the collision as well, they had like Sublime or someone going way out in front.
Right.
And then just bad formation.
Yeah, like this is something that I believe I don't know if it was on record with but when we were talking with Hershey, like he mentioned how like they don't really like pick marbles based on their previous performances for certain events. And so that's something that he kind of like didn't like about the Marble Olympics. Like, and that's something he wanted to do for like M games and stuff. Like, he really want to make sure like if this marble is good at this type of events, then he will always use that specific marble. And so at least as of right now, the Marble Olympics or Marble League now haven't really like or Yella. I guess that's probably the right word to use. Yella has not been like picking marbles based on past performance, but rather picking them I think at random, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I get that, and that opens a whole nother discussion that we had, I think, with Hershey
Yes.
and with Melikas, talking about the whole coaching thing and how difficult it is to allow people to choose like that. But definitely, it does seem very, bad, like half-witted or whatever. I don't know, to not choose the marble that's best at the event, especially people like you. Like, there's probably other people out there, Tom, that like also look at the stats and things like that, so people know. Like, you're not going to get away with, not doing that and then people not noticing, oh, well, can't remember, right? So, I can't remember which marbles do great, but some people can. And, like, so it does affect their experience. They're like, why would you not? I mean, it kind of gets them, more excited because, it's like in, like, a football game when, like, you get guys yelling at the screen because something went wrong. I
could have just,
that.
I could have just kept my model secret and tried to game the betting market.
That's true, but they're closing down the betting on this, which sucks. But I get it.
That's fine. No, I don't
people
care.
bet on their own. I mean, it's just hard to believe they even had betting last year. It was crazy. But I do want to throw out a couple predictions here. Yeah, sorry about that. I just want to throw out some cum. I think the Limers. I think they can get to the qualifying top 8. I think they can. All right, I'm a believer. All right, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Shaky first start. I mean, they have a lot of emotional drama up there because, I don't know, the fans are retarded. The fans got angry again, I think. I don't know. That's what Greg said in Collision, so it's just crazy. But I think I think if they just pull out in the funnel spin here, which is an event I feel like they can do well on, they do have decent stamina. I think they're going to pull out there. And then you talk about the 5-meter sprint. I mean, the toss-up, you'd probably see more from the Hornets in that event. You might actually see from the Jawbreakers again, who didn't really show up at all in the collision, but you might see more from them in the 5-meter sprint. But it's really just the Limers' motivation. I mean, the team has been there forever, and they've just hung on, and then all of a sudden they're about to be out for at least a full year of Marble League, and it's, oh, God, I can't believe it. I mean, if they lose here, then I might have to take them off my top 5.
They haven't been I'm looking at the Limers' history with funnel spinning events, and it's not one of their best events. They're actually quite bad at it.
Mm. Yeah, it's going to be the most Limers are trash occasion when they are eliminated from qualifiers due to a bad performance in funnel, and then Sublime wins gold in the final 5-meter sprint, and it's not even going to matter.
That would be funny.
I'm going to enjoy that so much.
I hope it doesn't happen. I don't know why you hate on the Limers, but they're
I know it's a rivalry I feel in my bones. My life is better.
Racist. I get that. Racist. Hey man, that's not very nice to the Limers. That's my hippie man voice. Hey man, that's rude. So there you go.
No, come on. Some of my best friends are Limers fans. So.
Oh, jeez. Rough time for them, right? It's like rooting for the Mets. To the one person who gets that out there. Oh, jeez. Anyway, but those are the predictions. However, I don't even know how that sounded to a listener. But yeah, that's
do we
what
have
we
any
predict.
time for my predictions?
Yes.
Yeah. Did we not do you? Did I ignore you? Oh, yeah. We got like a couple minutes left, so throw them out there, and then I'll stumble through the outro.
Yeah. So, for me, it's going to sound pretentious, but for me, it's funnel is such a puzzling event to me because I don't know if it's like fast marbles or slow marbles. I don't think this has been proven yet. So I'm really hoping...
wait. Let me pipe in here. This is a good discussion because we were
That's
actually
fine.
remember while we were talking about the green ducks and their funnel spinning way back in like episode 6, right?
I think so.
And something I was saying that the green ducks did that was so good is that ability to, like, one of the times they were the first marble out of all of them, they were in last place to get into a certain funnel, and they were the last marble to leave that funnel. So they let the whole line, it was like 7 other marbles, get through the hole before them. And it's not necessarily a speed thing, in my opinion, nor is it like being slow or being strong. It's more like
it's endurance.
That probably, to me, yeah, it's endurance and also in some way intelligence and agility because you have to be able to, hit off other marbles to drive them towards the hole and drive you away from the hole, keep you spinning. And that's what the green ducks did. So when you come to funnel spin, it's a toss-up because it's not the fastest marble or the strongest marble that's going to win that. So, going back to when we talked about the green ducks, definitely want to mention that because they impressed me a lot in that event. But, to predictions, some of these teams we just have not seen a lot of, and it's just hard to predict for the funnel spin. I'm just hoping the Limers do all right, man.
Yeah. Personally, my top 3. I don't like to give like exact rankings. I just want to predict who gets on the podium. I think my top 3 right now is actually I think rollers are on there. I think Jawbreakers is also on there.
I wouldn't give Jawbreakers.
And maybe I think Bumblebees. That's my dark horse.
Oh, really?
God.
Bumblebees might get silver or gold, but we'll see.
Absolutely not.
Like
I would give Turtle Sliders as a dark horse before I'd give Bumblebees.
Bumblebees is in.
Are we doing
ninth
sprint
right now?
Yeah. I want them to make it, right? I want them to be secure and make it to qualifiers. So, are we doing sprint predictions too?
I'll throw one out there, and then we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. Like, it's very obvious there are some very fast marbles. Snowballs, Sublime, I imagine he's going to go 5 meter sprint. He's going to be in the final. Hornet, definitely. I think 4th spot in the final is a toss-up between, like, if they have Azure on Cobalts in, or if they have Jawbreakers again. But I also think, I think Snowballs will probably take 5 meter sprint. And if Snowballs get gold in 5 meter sprint, I think they win Showdown. So that's your dark horse. Put some money.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Anything to say, Mr. Waff?
If I had to make a prediction, I think it's safe to say that Hornets are guaranteed to make it into the qualifiers next year. If they keep this up, I think Hornets will be the winners of spring next year, or at least good contenders for it.
What? Winners of the spring?
I disagree.
Come on. Yes, thank you. Someone else is smart. Because, come on.
I disagree because I think the Raspberry Racers will win twice.
Well, didn't you...
No, but, for a real reason here, though. We have to understand the difference in skill level between a Marble Showdown group of teams and a Marble League group of teams. You're looking at, even the Oceanics would have a shot against the Hornets. Because, even the worst in the Marble League is not that bad compared to the Marble Showdown. Okay? So, just keep that in mind. I wouldn't say the Hornets all of a sudden are going to shoot up and be the next Green Ducks. That it's not going to happen. I think they might qualify. I would give them that.
I think the argument is more that, let's look at Sand Rally again. I think Vespa, was it for Hornets, was very close to Candy. Candy is, by all means, one of the fastest marbles, at least in my opinion, judging from my interpretation of the stats.
Right.
So I think Vespa is going to be one of the fastest marbles in Marble League. And if other marbles of the team are comparable to Vespa, then, oh my god, okay, I agree. That's a championship contender right there. That's why I think 5 meter sprint and funnel is so important for me, because you got to scout out the Hornets to make sure they can actually crack that elite tier.
Right.
Well, it was kind of confusing because I'm pretty sure I thought I heard you predict the Hornets for spring next year as well. I thought you literally just said that a few minutes ago. Could have sworn, at least.
Me?
Yeah,
or,
you, Tom.
Brent?
I thought I heard you say that you for spring predictions.
There's no other Tom
Hornets.
here.
No. I thought I said Raspberry Racers will repeat Marble League 2020. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I maybe misheard. I thought I heard you list off a few teams for contention. You mentioned Hornets in that list, so.
I think for ML 2020,
He's gonna cut some
I
of
think
this. Jeez.
Racers, Hazers, Green Ducks. I think Hornets are a real championship contender, but I think that's a few months down the line. So
yeah, we'll have to see. But this is going to be it's going to be a good rest of Marble Showdown. Honestly, I do think they should have done more than 4 events, at least 6. I mean, it's just not enough to do. 4 is not enough, but I guess they're running out of time or whatever. Maybe. But I mean, yeah, guys, just watch the events. Again, my draft league teams for the Marble Showdown that I am in are Primary and Snowballs, which are not my first picks, but you know what? They're doing all right. So maybe right now I'm in 3rd place out of 6, so not too bad. And yes, Tyler is dominating. Evidently, someone from the live chat is in the draft league with me, and the guy named Tyler, who no one cares about, but he's dominating the draft league. There you go. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go to the outro here. Shout out to our new editor, by the way, Wimeth, I think is his name, or is his name he gave me, and he's going to edit this all together. Give you hopefully a good episode full of physics, if you like physics and marbles. And I don't know what to do for the outro song, but he'll figure it out. If anyone's got a suggestion, shout it out now, and I guess we'll see if it gets in there. Got to be on Newgrounds, though.
If we're desperate enough, I might do another one myself.
Oh, geez. Yeah, send that. So I guess we might hear Waff sing again, and the song will probably cut me off right mid-sentence, guys. But I'll see you guys all next time, episode 16, next week sometime. And have a great night, everybody.
Hey, everybody. So our editor actually is experiencing some family issues at the moment, so I ended up having to edit this episode instead. So for today's outro song, I'm picking a piece by one of my favorite composers, Ice. They make a lot of music, and they're also the head of the music division for a company called Rayark, and they make a lot of rhythm games. And so this particular piece has been used in both of their games, Citus and Demo. It's called Entrance. However, in those versions of the game, it's always like parts of the piece or like a part of a redo, like a remix. So for you, I'm going to give you the original full-length version for you to enjoy.